Hi, my name is Sean Smith. I'm a faculty member at the University of Kansas and do some work in online learning. I wanted to offer some tips and strategies for connecting better with our home environment and our school environment in these hybrid, blended, and fully online learning experiences. Now, particularly, let's think right now about designing the learning space. You know, what the distractions, the areas that we're going to work in, things of that nature. Now, you may say, what's the big deal, Sean? It's just home and let them find a quiet spot and make sure that they do their work and we'll be good. Make sure they're connected to the internet for their work and yeah, okay. Well, there's a few things that we need to think about. Now, individuals that maybe many of us have learned about over the last several months of working in hybrid, blended, fully online learning, we've been reminded of executive function skills. Excuse me? Executive function skills? Well, those things that are setting priorities, tasks, uh, focus, attention, being able to avoid distractions, working memory. Okay, those are important things, Sean, but I'm a science teacher, or I teach reading, or I teach math, or yeah, kindergarten, first, second grade, we focus in on that. But no, the reality is, and we've learned this, and it's not just for individuals with disabilities, but rather we've learned that attention, distractions, etc., there's a whole host of things that we need to plan and be more mindful of. And this is where we can help the home environment. Well, we can help the home environment in terms of helping them with ideas to design the home environment. And no, I'm not talking HGTV. If any of you have HGTV watchers, I did a quick Google months ago and, of course, came up with this image. Wouldn't it be wonderful to have a room with lots of light, wonderful color, high ceilings, dedicated just for learning, and just build that on to the small little home we have, right? Oh my goodness. Yeah, in our dreams. But yet, we can help mom and dad, grandma, grandpa, aunt, uncle, the adult in the home, better kind of facilitate a learning environment for the child that there is in the environment. And how can we do that? Well, we're not personal designers. We're not Chip and whatever his wife's name is on HGTV, and there's been so many of them, I can't recall. But we are experts in how we design our own classroom. Now, I'm not talking about that horrible lighting, but rather we are thinking about how we organize. We are thinking about the furniture we have, which we don't select, which we don't pick, but how do we then structure that the best way for the learners when we actually have our own classrooms and we're actually teaching face to face and the child's not hybrid with some of the facilitation or blended or fully online. And some of those things we consider about, first of all, is the furniture. And it might be the arrangement of the furniture, but also might be the use of the furniture. And certain furniture is better than others. So, for example, we may not be able to get those balls or the chairs that kind of allow me to squiggle around. It may not be allowed that fancy desk that has the tabletop and actually allows me to spin and move, but it may also be avoiding that comfortable couch. It may be avoiding that comfortable beanbag that I just smush into and I just want to take a nap because, in a way, that home furniture was designed for rest and relaxation, for enjoyment. So we might want to do it a little bit more utilitarian. So that kitchen table, that kitchen chair, it was made for us to sit down, be appropriate at a table, and be able to interact. So it may be tips and ideas like that. And you may be saying, Sean, that's really easy stuff. But that simple idea is actually reinforcing something that oftentimes we neglect as parents. And I, myself included, as the pandemic started, I was like, okay, well, you normally do your homework over here. Yeah, but homework and schoolwork are very different. Homework was that kind of reinforcement, that practice. They just spent a day in an academic setting. So we need to rethink about where we're now doing that initial learning. And it might be a mixture of places, but to begin with, furniture. The other thing is, how do we utilize the walls? Now, I'm not talking about wallpapering our home or repainting our home or putting up, taking down the family pictures and putting up other things, although that may be a good idea. But think about it. In our classroom walls, we design different types of mnemonics, reminders, visual schedules, structure for the day, structure for the content we're learning about, maybe the vocabulary of what we're getting into, maybe it's the alphabet, maybe it's the basic math facts, but they're very visible for the individual to kind of reinforce, to reconnect, to reassure. So it might be the fact that we offer some recommendations. It might be the fact that we create some visuals and make them available online for them to print. Better yet, maybe we print and send them home in care packages. And we've seen elementary schools do that. We've seen middle schools do that. We've even seen high schools do that. And that may be just for a select group of students. Maybe other students are able to do that. But it might be things that then they have available in front of them. And then we offer recommendations. It could be just simply getting a cardboard box that's not put together and just simply putting it on the cardboard box that you slip underneath the couch and you pick it up and put it in front of the desk that you're working in, or you're leaning against the cupboard, and there it is as a reminder on the floor. But at least it's there as a reminder. But it also could be putting up some of these reminders inside the doors of a cupboard. So you open up a cupboard, and there's the schedule when we get to work, when we get to school, class, in the kitchen, and when it's time for lunch, we just close that cupboard. That schedule disappears. Dinner on the weekends, it's no longer visible for us. There's lots of different ideas, but more importantly, it's helping mom, dad, the adult in the home figure out what should be on the walls, what would be relevant. So some things to consider, okay? Some things to consider. First of all, tips on design of the room. So what to declutter, what to reinforce, what to keep very simplistic, what to include, as I mentioned, in terms of schedules, maps. And it might be, hey, for this week, we're going to look at the map of the world, or we're going to look at the map of Latin America or South America or Central America. I'm sorry, I'm not familiar as much with the terminology as I probably should be. But if we're going to deal with some geography there, maybe that's up. Or maybe it's certain vocabulary words. These are the vocabulary words that need to be visual. These are the math facts. This is the process to create this, complete this reading, this decoding, whatever it may be. And then, of course, where we should potentially place things. Furniture, things of that nature, where it should be, the type of furniture. Now, schedules. What's the visual schedule for this week? What's the visual schedule for this day? When to structure the day, when to begin the day, when to end the day, what to do in terms of the beginnings, what to do for transitions, when to take a break, activities to take a break for, go for a walk. What type of walk? Maybe it's a nature walk. When we're out walking, we look for these types of flowers. So it's just not simply physical exercise, but you're giving them ideas that we would we would generally generate if we were in the face-to-face environment, but now they're doing more hybrid or fully online. Think of the lighting for the day. It could be natural lighting, but the sun's going to move. So maybe it's natural lighting for a part of the day, but maybe it's getting a certain type of lamp. And I'm not talking about a lamp at a certain store. Just, hey, make sure this light's available, turn it on. So it might be moving that around for that time for instruction. Maybe it's certain materials, certain devices, certain types of materials to use. So a host of things that go on. Now, it also could be simple things about the pets. Well, what about the pets? Well, it might be the fact that, they're very distracting, or I always want to pet them, or I want to play with them. I know my kids, any type of distraction to take away from the work. So maybe we put the pets in a certain room. Maybe it's outside of view. Maybe it's off in the laundry room if we have a room like that. Maybe it's in another room. Maybe it's in their kennel if they're comfortable in that. Now, if your pets are like my pets, they like to sleep during the day, or there's a certain time they like to play. Okay, then let's schedule our structure so that when we want to take them for that walk, that's a good time for us to break. Oh, and by the way, it's our exercise as well. So again, maybe make it as a reward. Now you can go and play with our dog's name is Arthur. Now you can go spend some time with Arthur. So anyways, think about where to put the pets and how to use the pets. Now also think about simple things like Wi-Fi service. Well, what do you mean by Wi-Fi? We need to be connected to the internet. No, actually you don't. You download the information, you disconnect the internet. Now, being able to go off to other places that might be a bit distraction. Being able to, I want to go play that game, and mom and dad are in the other room, or grandma and grandpa's in the other room, or I'm off on this website. They can't get to it because the Wi-Fi is off. And by the way, they can work in things like Google Classroom without the Wi-Fi on, and simply when the Wi-Fi turns back on, Google Docs, slides, forms, sheets, it automatically uploads. Oh, and turn off that cellular service. Most of us, the plans we have, we can go right into our phones and turn it off temporarily. Well, what are we doing there? Again, if someone's on a device where it's tempting, they're doing maybe some paper pencil work, and that device is sitting there next to them, turn it off. Turn the cellular service off. You can do it on your phone. Go to your carrier, find that out, and then, of course, turn it back on when it's appropriate. Now, if those are not distractions, if that's not a concern, no worries. The big thing is this is a new normal. And I know this new normal has been with us for a while, but this idea that the couch or the bed or a distraction environment might be appropriate for review, and of course that maybe not nearly as effective in terms of our practice or our traditional homework, but clearly in this environment now that original instruction, if we're entirely online, We need to be more focused. We need to be more structured. We need to be more aligned with the learning. We certainly don't have classrooms full of couches because of that learning. And secondly, is the fact that dedicated spot. We really need to have a focused, dedicated spot that's conducive to the child's learning. And we can get into that in lots of different ways, and we'll talk a little bit more about that in organization. But these are just a few ideas in terms of starting to design our space. We are not interior designers. We are not HGTV folks. Mom and dad have, or grandma and grandpa have limited opportunities at the home. To me, it's simply trying to help them with ideas, tips, strategies, and then they'll work within their own environment to walk through and figure these things out. But without our support, and without these simple ideas, potentially mom and dad are like, okay, well, here, I have a desk, we're good, not realizing that window with it being open right next to a very busy street, it's going to probably be a little bit distracted. So maybe we go interior into the home if at all possible. Maybe we give up the natural light, but at least it's quiet. The list of things goes on. Again, my name is Sean Smith. I hope this was helpful, and have a great day.